Good morning, world. Good morning. My name's Seferino Abetha with the School of Light. Read through the Bible video series. Today we are in 1 Kings chapter 2. David charge to Solomon. When the time drew near for David to die, he gave charge to Solomon his son. I'm about to go the way of the earth, he said. So be strong, show yourself a man, and observe what the Lord requires. Walk in his ways and keep his decrees and commands and his laws and requirements, as is written in the law of Moses, so that you may prosper in all you do and wherever you go, and that the Lord may keep his promise to your descendants. Watch how they live, and if they walk faithfully before me with all of their heart and soul, you will never fail to have a man on the throne of Israel. Now you yourself know what Joab, son of Zeruiah, did to me, what he did to the two commanders of Israel's armies, Abner, son of Ner, and Amasa, son of Jether. He killed them, shedding their blood in peacetime as if in battle, and with that blood stained the belt around his waist and the sandals on his feet. Deal with him according to your wisdom, but do not let his gray head go down to the grave in peace. You like my hair? I know it's messy, but it's freshly washed and everything. But show kindness to the sons of Brazali of Gilead, and let them be among those who eat at your table. They stood by me when I fled from your brother Absalom. And remember, you have with you Shimei, son of Gera, the Benjamite from Bahurim, who called down bitter curses on me the day I went to Mahanaim. When he came down to meet me at the Jordan, I swore to him by the Lord, I will not put you to death by the sword. But now do not consider him innocent. You are a man of wisdom. You will know what to do to him. Bring his gray head down to the grave in blood. Then David rested with his fathers and was buried. Wow, that's the last thing David wanted to do, was this guy who wronged them to bring his head down into blood, his son. Then David rested with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. He had resigned 40 years over Israel, 7 years in Hebron, and 33 in Jerusalem. So Solomon sat on his throne, on the throne of his father David, and he ruled. His rule was firmly established. Bathsheba asked him, "Do you come peacefully?" Peacefully, he answered, "Yes, peacefully." Then he added, "I have something to say to you." "You may say it," she replied. "As you know," he said, "the kingdom was mine. All Israel looked to me as their king, but things changed, and the kingdom has gone to my brother, for it has come to him, the Lord. Now I have one request to make of you. Do not refuse me." "You may make it," she said. So he continued, "Please ask the king Solomon, he will not refuse you, to give me Abishag the Shumanite as my wife." "Very well," Bathsheba replied, "I will speak to the king for you." When Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak for him, for Adonijah, the king stood up to meet her, bowed down toward her, and sat down on his throne. He had a throne brought for the king's mother, and she sat down at his right hand. "I have one small request to make of you, my son. Do not refuse me." The king replied, "Make it, my mother. I will not refuse you." So she said, "Let Abishag the Shumanite be given in marriage to your brother Adonijah." King Solomon answered his mother, "Why do you request Abishag the Shumanite for Adonijah? You might as well request the kingdom for him. After all, he is my oldest brother. Yes, for him and for Abiathar the priest and Joab son of Zeruiah." Then King Solomon swore by the Lord, "May God deal with me ever be so severely if Adonijah does not pay with his life for this request. And now, as surely as the Lord lives, he who has established me securely on the throne of my father David, and has founded a dynasty for me as he promised, Adonijah shall be put to death today." So King Solomon gave orders to Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, and he struck down Adonijah, and he died. To Abiathar the priest, the king said, "Go back to your fields in Anathoth. You deserve to die, but I will not put you to death now, because you carried the ark of the sovereign Lord before my father David and shared all of my father's hardships." So Solomon removed Abiathar from the priesthood of the Lord, fulfilling the word the Lord had spoken at Shiloh about the house of Eli. When the news reached Joab, who had conspired with Adonijah, though not with Absalom, he fled to the tent of the Lord and took hold of the horns of the altar. King Solomon was told that Joab had fled to the tent of the Lord and was beside the altar. Then Solomon ordered Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, "Go strike him down." So Benaiah entered the tent of the Lord and said to Joab, "The king says, 'Come out.'" But he answered, "No, I will die here." Benaiah reported to the king, "This is how Joab answered me." Then the king commanded Benaiah, do as he says, strike him down and bury him, and so clear me and my father's house of guilt of the innocent blood that Joab shed. The Lord will repay him for the blood he shed, because without the knowledge of my father David, he attacked 2 men and killed them with the sword, both of them, Abner son of Ner, commander of Israel's army, and Amasa son of Jether, commander of Judah's army, were better men and more upright than he. May the guilt of their blood rest on his head and the head of Joab and his descendants forever. But on David and his descendants, his house and his throne, may there be the Lord's peace forever. So Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, went up and struck down Joab and killed him, and he was buried in his own land in the desert. The king put Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, over the army of Joab's position, replaced Abiathar with Zadok the priest. Then the king sent Shimei and said to him, build yourself a house in Jerusalem and live there, but do not go anywhere else. The day you leave and cross Kidron Valley, you can be sure you will die. Your blood will be on your own head. Shimei answered the king, what you say is good. Your servant will do as my lord the king has said. And Shimei stayed in Jerusalem for a long time. But 3 years later, 2 of Shimei's slaves ran off to Achish, the son of Maacah, the king of Gath, and Shimei was told, your slaves are in Gath. At this, he saddled his donkeys and went to Achish at Gath in search of his slaves. So Shimei went ahead and brought the slaves back from Gath. When Solomon was told that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath and had returned, the king summoned Shimei and said to him, did I not make you swear by the Lord and warn you, on the day you leave to go anywhere else, and you'll be sure to die? At that time you said to me, what you say is good, I will obey. Why did you then not keep your oath to the Lord and obey the command I gave you? The king also said to Shimei, you know in your heart all the wrong you did to my father David. Now the Lord will repay you for your wrongdoing, but the king Solomon will be blessed, and David's throne will remain secure before the Lord forever. Then the king gave the order to Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, and he went out and struck Shimei down and killed him. The kingdom was now firmly established in Solomon's hands. I think it's just interesting that one of the last things David had on his mind was that his 2 men, the king or the leader of the armies in Judah and the one in Jerusalem or Israel, that his top men had to be avenged. These guys, obviously Shimei had killed him, and he had passed that on to Solomon, saying, hey, I won't be here to do this, but I want you in your wisdom. And whenever he did, it says that the kingdom was firmly established in Solomon's hand. So it was his older brother, I guess, that went around trying to usurp his power or even usurp his position. And there was also something where he showed him respect, saying, I won't kill you because I know you had carried the ark of the Lord's covenant. There's a lot of action here. And I think the biggest takeaway for me would be that David, at the end of his life, had these things in mind to bring justice for his top guys. His top guys had something bad happen to their kids, and David's last wish was that Solomon would avenge, and if there was justice delayed, to make it happen so that they wouldn't be denied. God bless. Hope that helps with some insights, and have a good day.